everybody, I'm Brandy with So Daisy Bee, and today I have, I think, kind of a really fun and special project that I wanted to show you. So I think last week I made a post where I did applique for the very first time on this bag, really cute little tote bag that I bought from Hobby Lobby for $3.99, and I was really happy with the way that came out. I did that intentionally because I wanted to use some Dresden plates. I might have shown you in that video too, I'm not sure if I did or not, but these are actually really special. And before I touched them with applique, since I hadn't done applique before, I wanted to test it out on the SDB bag. So I did that, I felt good about it. But these Dresden plates, I'm not sure how much I told you about them the other day, but what I want to show you is look at how many of these Dresden plates I have. So these were gifted to my sister who lives in Tucson by a friend of hers. They belonged to him, they were gifted to him by his grandmother and great-grandmother, and I'm going to look at names here because I'm not good at remembering them in the moment, but Nettie Hahn, who lived from 18 to 1970, that was his grandmother, and his great-grandmother, Edna Harper, who lived from 1901 to 1997. So these Dresden plates were handmade by his grandmother and great-grandmother. And it's crazy to try and wrap your head around the fact that these are potentially 100 or more years old, which is just absolutely crazy. So I'm really grateful my sister gave me some of those. I have a couple of really fun projects in the works for those, but one of the things I wanted to do was create one on a tote bag. So one of the things I really liked about this bag, it's only $3.99 and I get them from Hobby Lobby. I can't make it for that, but what I like about it is the size, and it has a nice size box bottom on it. I like the crossbody extending strap on it. I think it's really great for craft fairs, some of the sewing and craft fairs, and when you get your treasures, putting them in that bag. And I thought with the Dresden plate on there, that would just be a really special little feature for those. So anyways, that's what I'm going to do today. So I will get started and explain some of the materials and how I'm going to use them. And I hope you enjoy, and if you do, please hit that follow button and the like button and share. Thanks so much. Thanks for following. All right, so the first thing that we are going to do is the first thing I'm going to do is just do a quick little iron on this Dresden plate and make sure that it is nice and smooth. Just give it a quick little press. I'm not going to use any starch or anything on it at this point. Again, these have been sitting in someone's stash for a very long time. So I'm not washing them or anything before appliquing and sewing them on. I'm just going to make sure it has a nice flat surface though. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is pin this onto Pellon Wonder Under, and you just pin it to the rough side first. I'm going to pin it in place so that it stays when I cut it out. And again, I'm very new to applique, so I haven't been doing this for very long, but from what I understand, this should be the right way to do it. All right, so I'm just gonna finish pinning this on here. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut this out along all of these cute little scalloped edges, which will be fun, and then cut out the middle circle. So I'm just going to do that using some very precise scissors. I'm just going to go around the edges, and as soon as I'm done with that, I'll be right back. See you in a minute. Okay, so now I have the Wonder Under on the back, It is still pinned to the Dresden plate at this point because I've not adhered it yet. But I did cut around very carefully. I kind of went just a little smaller than the edge of the Dresden plate because I wanted to be very careful not to cut the fabric at all. So I was really careful about that. I also did that same thing in the center. And I'm hoping you can see from the photo or on the camera that this whole thing is hand stitched, of course. It was not machine stitched back in those days. This is all hand stitched. So I'm just so incredibly honored to have been gifted a portion of these Dresden plates that are so old. And, I just imagine there's someone out there somewhere in the universe saying, gosh darn it, finally someone's going to do something with those, So I don't know. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to work on adhering the Wonder Under to the Dresden plate. So I'm just going to remove one of these pins, and I'm just going to start by just using my iron on that fabric and letting that glue set. Turn it a little, give this side a little shot of heat. Do that again, and one more time. Make sure that's nice and secure on there. Also in the circle, I am going to stitch this down around all of the edges using a zigzag stitch after, so it'll be nice and secure, but that feels really good on there right now. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is place it on my bag, just kind of making sure that the edges are opened up nicely. I'm going to eyeball it. I'm not going to be super technical about it. I have to be a little careful because there is a zipper right there, so I just need to make sure that the top of it doesn't end up overlapping that zipper because I want to continue to be able to use that. And I'll just do kind of a quick little gut check. It looks like I've got about 2.5 inches on that side, about 2.5 inches on that side. Shift just a tiny bit. Okay, and I think what I'm going to do is just do a little mark, kind of where it goes there and there. Okay, now I'm going to remove the back side of the Wonder Under carefully. Okay, got that nice and lined up. I think I'm gonna shift it just a little, just again to make sure that zipper is not going to get caught up in there. Okay, I'm just gonna take a piece of fabric, lay it over the top, hit that with some heat, get that Wonder Under to activate or melt under there, get it nice and sticky, do the top part. I'm thinking about even maybe replacing the zipper with a cute zipper. I haven't quite decided yet. I figure I'll get this part finished and we'll see how it goes from there. I still have some edges here that need to be adhered a little better. Let's see how that feels good. When I was in the quilt shop, I was asking one of the ladies, because I had never done applique before, so I was asking her for tips and tricks and explaining to her like this was kind of a little bit of a, I don't want to say stressful, but like I felt a lot of pressure to make sure that I didn't mess up these blocks because they're, so old. And it was funny, one of the things she said was, you're just going to have to give yourself some grace. She goes, you're going to do fine because you care. And I was online. I like to put patches on bags and things like that, little iron-on patches. And when I was online the other day, I saw this patch and it just says, give yourself grace. And I thought, okay, well, that is so cute. So I think I'm gonna put it on here as well. I'm just gonna put it in the middle, kind of eyeball that a little bit. And I like the way the color works with this. So I'm gonna put that on there as well. Let's get that all ironed on, and then I'll stitch it as well just to make sure it stays. I thought that was pretty cute. Sometimes you do have to just give yourself grace and just know you're gonna do the best you can. Yeah, that's looking really good. Okay. One more time, just do one more quick little press, and then we're going to be ready to sew, and then it'll be all done. Such a fun project and super quick. All right, I want to show you how this looks. Look at that. Look how cute. Isn't that so cool? All right, I'm going to go over to the sewing machine and start stitching around that. You know what? Look at that. I see one little area. Glad I lifted that up like that. I mean, I know I'm sewing it anyway, so it probably doesn't really matter, but I just want it to be as secure as possible. All those little edges. Okay, I think I got it. All right, here we go. All right, so here we are at the sewing machine. We are going to do a zigzag stitch around this Dresden block, 100-plus-year-old Dresden block that's going to be on this cute tote bag. So the first thing I'm going to need to do is actually get my sewing machine ready. So because it is a tote bag, I'm going to remove this drop-in, if you will, and then take part of the deck off. So I'll be right back. All right, here we go. Slow and steady wins the race. Okay, now we're back and we are going to just sew around this to keep it on and nice and secure. All right, so we're all finished. I hope that we made Edna and Nettie proud today. I think the bag just turned out adorable. And the way the colors play together, and I just think it's awesome. Well, I hope that you enjoyed watching. Thanks again for sharing your time with me today, and hopefully like and follow and share. Thanks so much. See you soon.